there's only 11 days until the presidential election. Every state probably has other things that are included in their election. It's not just presidential, but the main event is the presidential election. We have 11 days left. And the crazy part is I woke up, well, this was going viral last night, right? So if you know Charlamagne the God and Stephen A. Smith, they always go viral for not the right things, right? But our two Black men decided to wake up and smell the flowers 11 days before the election. Play the clip.
I got you. I can't wait for y'all to see this, please.
I know you're not talking about somebody being lucid and cogent and enunciating their thoughts with clarity, and you're bragging about Donald Trump. We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing. You ain't going to do that today.
You know
now,
what?
Lindsey Graham, hold it. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham is about to come on this show.
Let me tell you
now,
something.
that man can articulate himself very well. Not Donald Trump now.
I have sat with him for hour after hour after hour, topic after topic after topic, and he is so dialed in.
Really?
Look, you know, it's funny. People try. This is like the latest argument. And meanwhile,
goes of an election that's talking about, jailing his political opponents. Like, that rhetoric doesn't scare people.
We talk about this every single. This is what
I don't think
I've been talking about this every night.
I don't think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris Black than I do about, Donald Trump being a fascist.
Well,
am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, I'm sorry.
Oh, I like that.
I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala Harris Black,
I've seen that. I've seen those roundtable discussions a lot. Now that Anderson, for you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
I've never asked somebody
I'm not saying you. I said the network.
He said the network.
I don't think anyone I don't think any anchor on this network has been going around saying, "Is she Black?"
Y'all never had
we have had. Look, I'm sure we have had, nutty people or people who have strongly held beliefs who I may disagree with, who somewhere on some panel have said something.
Okay.
First off, I just want to say, Charlamagne is literally me, because I love when people be like, the moment you were like, that's some BS, I'm like, oh, okay, let's get into it. Like, I like that. Let's get into it. Go ahead, girl.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm glad that, this is specifically, I would say, for Stephen A. Smith, because he's, I don't want to say always on Fox News, but he is usually, a guest there very often, and which is kind of weird in itself. But hey, I guess better late than never that, now he's deciding to speak up and just like state the obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think at this point, it's clear as day to see what one person stands for versus the other. Donald Trump was literally, he staged a workday at McDonald's to, kind of poke fun of VP Harris working there when she was younger. Mm-hmm. And the gag is that the day after he staged this McDonald's workday, McDonald's had to come out, or the CDC announced that there was like an E. coli breakout, which is just so, of course, the two things have nothing to do with each other. But to me, you staging a McDonald's workday, because the McDonald's was closed. He was never actually working. So if you wanted to work, at least open the McDonald's. It, to me, is like embarrassing. Like, you're kind of making fun of the everyday American by doing that. Trump is just, oh my God. The stuff that he says is actually scary. And I think at this point, 11 days out, if you already feel like you are going to vote for Trump, nothing else matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter how much a network tries to put it on the table. It is clear as day how Donald Trump feels. The things that he says are wild. And if VP Harris ever, said half the things that Trump has said about her, about people, the way he talks about immigrants, people of color, they're going to take your Black jobs, and all of this stuff that he does, all this fear mongering, people will drag Harris for it.
I Okay, so as we get close to election day, one, I can't wait for it to be over because I'm sick of it. I can't wait for it to be over. When it comes to the topic of politics, Shayla and I differ. Shayla is more like invested, I guess you could say, than I am.
I wouldn't say I'm invested. I just care.
Right. For me, speaking of care, for me, I don't really care about Republicans and I don't care about Democrats. Like, I think both parties, I feel like, especially the way politics is now, it's not really anything. Like,
It is, though. That's the problem. You have a lot of people, and again, I'm not coming for you specifically, but I think where politics is at this moment, it's not even about Republicans and Democrats, especially if you are a woman, right? Donald Trump, when he was elected, he was able to select 2 Supreme Court justices that in turn, even when Biden became president, they were able to pass restrictive legislation because of, him winning 4 years ago, right? So now Roe v. Wade, which allowed, abortions, regardless of how you feel about it, now certain states don't have, the freedom for women to have abortions. So I think we have the privilege of, we don't care, especially because we do live in a democratic state and things might not affect us as much because of the state we live in. Just the fact that, I don't care mentality is in itself a privilege. I just wanted to say that, but go ahead.
So you touched on the point that I was about to get to. I think it's not about Democrat versus Republican in this current election. It's about morals, views, and perspective. And it's like how everybody's morals, views, and perspective are and eventually going to affect and impact all of us, right? So I remember when Biden was running against Trump, everybody sat there and was like, why is Biden running? He's not even he's not coherent enough. He's not this, he's not that. He reminds me of my 105-year-old geriatric vegetable of a grandparent that's laid up in a hospital bed. Like, y'all were saying all this stuff, right? So now he has an opponent who speaks for herself, who speaks clearly, who actually sounds like she can make sense. Now, feel how you will, feel how you may about this whole immigration, about Biden and Kamala bringing in all these different immigrants. Feel how you want, feel how you will.
They're not bringing in people.
Well, allowing people to come in, right? So my whole thing is, first off, y'all, especially some of these people, y'all be quick to celebrate Christopher Columbus. He was an immigrant when he came here too. So keep that cute. The whole point of me saying this is, when you hear how someone talks, right? When you see how someone acts, when you see, like, I was watching that, you mentioned the McDonald's video. He was like, oh, I wanted to see what it's like because, Kamala basically made up a whole lie about her working at McDonald's. Sir, she worked there years ago. Why are you so bothered and pressed?
And that's exactly what you're doing. You're faking it.
Like, and it's just like, you're trying to make, instead of sitting there bringing actual policies and actually talking about stuff, if your supporters really support you, tell them what you about to do. Because you keep saying, make America great. And when you ask people, when was America great? You can't give me an answer. You can't tell me a specific time period. What happened? Like, when was America great? And then people love to say, oh, it was great with him when the economy was way better when it was under him. We were in a pandemic. Nobody was going nowhere. Money wasn't going in or out. Of course, everything was cheap. They want you to spend. Like, I just think vote. Everybody's gonna vote to what they feel like best suits them. That's why Trump won the first time, because there's people who think like him, who see things like him, and morally, they don't feel like they're going to be impacted by any of his decisions, right? I'm not saying that Kamala is the best option. Do I personally think that she is the better option? Yes, because of the things that I believe in and that I feel like should be work for everybody else. If you guys are so free will, free this, free that, why are you so bothered by people getting an abortion? Why are you so bothered by all these different things? It's just like I feel like if you, and a lot of times when I hear people say that they support, it be the smartest people too. There's some smart people that I hear support Trump, and I'm like,
Elon Musk, smart.
I'm like, why? Like, it's like, listen, like I said, I'm not here. Do what you want, do what you will, but
yeah,
that's my little one too.
So before we wrap up this segment, I do want to say again, like Rebecca says, election day is around the corner. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. I think the main thing is that you go out and vote and support who you feel like you want to support. But the one thing I do want to mention is if your one reason for not voting for Harris is because she is a woman, check yourself. Because women are the backbone of everything. Women carry like human lives, right? For 9 months. Who raised you? A woman, right? Whether that was your mom, your aunt, grandma. Who do you look towards when you're not feeling good? Who do you ask for? You know, if you fall, you for recipes, like it's usually always woman, right? Like you expect women to help you and come save you when things go wrong. But when it comes to leadership positions, all of a sudden they're not worthy. They're not capable. Newsflash, yes, women may get periods and our emotions may go, you know, on a loop, but so do men, right? Men get a cough and they're already like bedridden. Meanwhile, we out here bleeding once a month and we still got to live life, right? We still show up to work. We still play sports. We still do all the things. So miss me with that. Oh, but she's a woman, especially when you are your woman yourself and you are already like pushing your own people down. Like that's crazy to me. And my last point to wrap it up for real, Beyonce today will be showing up with Harris today. Today's Friday. I don't know when you may be watching this, but Beyonce will be performing with, well, Kamala Harris not performing, but you know what I'm trying to say is Beyonce is going to be at a rally with Kamala Harris Friday in Houston, Texas. So that's going to be pretty iconic.
You know, because sometimes when people talk, different things pop into your head. So I just wanted to, do I feel like, to touch on what Charlamagne was saying, how like all these people were focusing on the fact that she's Black. Yes, I do feel like that is one of the main focuses, which I don't understand why that would even determine her capability of anything, because almost all the Black women that I know are intelligent, who think for themselves, are self-sufficient, and actually make sense when it comes to common sense. So it's like, what would be your reasoning as to why she wouldn't be capable because of her race? Because from what I see, this long history of predominantly Caucasian people who have been running America for all these years, nobody ever questioned them.